Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome again to Union University basketball on this Tuesday evening. And instead of at halftime of the women's game, since we only have a men's game tonight, we got Dave Niven here with us for the pregame show. And Dave, before we talk about this North Georgia team that's coming in for one of the last of the non-conference games that you have this year, let's rewind the tape back just a hair to where we were on Saturday against a very, very tough, particularly on defense, an extremely tough West Georgia team. What was your takeaway from that game?
Oh man, I think you see some of the weaknesses of our team right now. We're exposed there. We go through stretches where we have a really hard time getting the ball in the basket, and so a lot of that was from two around the basket, mid range stuff, close, post up, layups. It was our best night shooting it from three. We shot 50% from three, which has been a struggle for us as well. But ultimately on those kind of nights when we're having a hard time, we need to be a lot better offensive rebounders. I thought we picked that up a little bit in the second half over the first half, but we need to be a lot better to make up for some of that. Our defense was just okay. And right now, when you're playing a good team, our defense is going to have to be really, really good until our offense can catch up. And so, I think that's going to be a little bit of a slower process. I don't think it's an overnight fix for us offensively. It's going to take some guys learning just how to play. We play a little bit better, but I thought it was. You saw some of those weaknesses exposed on Saturday afternoon.
Dave, as we fast forward into tonight's game, let's talk about the fact we have known for years a lot of the history of women's basketball from North Georgia, because there was an intense rivalry back in the NAIA years between Union and North Georgia, but we haven't really seen a lot, particularly on the Fred DeLay floor of North Georgia. Tell us what they do and what is their real strength.
They've got one of the best players we'll play against this year. We played at North Georgia last year and won at their place, but they do have a great player inside for them that is he's a tough cover. And we'll have to be really sound defensively against him. They surround him with a bunch of guys that can shoot the basketball. So I always think that's one of the hardest things to play against, because you've got to find ways to stop a dynamic player. And there's not these guys to help off of.
What are the bright spots that you have seen that you feel like that you can draw from in this game?
I think again the strength of our team is our defense. We are rated near the top of the country defensively right now, which is really good. It's just unfortunately our offense has been so bad. It's not always been enough to be a good defensive team, and so that's certainly something for us to build. There's a ton of room for us to improve offensively. Our guards are getting better at cutting turnovers, so that is something I think that we'll continue to see the more we play. Our freshmen they're going to get better throughout the year. They're going to get more opportunities to play. We're dealing with some injuries again this year that are going to open up things and give them some more opportunities. So they're going to get better and better. Those guys are players, and it just sometimes takes some time for freshmen to learn how to play within the flow of the offense and where to get their shots and what are good shots and all that kind of stuff. So I think those guys are gonna continue to improve, and we'll see some good games from them coming up.
Dave, as always, we'll look forward to seeing you out on the floor in just a couple of minutes, and we wish you a lot of good luck tonight.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
And let's go to the floor right now for tonight's starting lineups. And here we are at Fred DeLay Gymnasium, and here are your starting lineups. For North Georgia, White, he's from Memphis, averaging nearly 15 a game. He's a hot three-point shooter. Frank Champion is the man that Dave Niven was talking about. He's Mr. Everything, 20 points a game, 11 rebounds, 65% field goal shooting. Hunter Shedenhelm from Pinkerton, Ohio, and he is averaging 9 points a game. Giancarlo Bastioni, I like his name. He's from Sharpsburg, Georgia, 12 points a game on his average. And Greg Billups Jr., averaging 9 a game. He is from Freehold, New Jersey. Now let's go over to Union. And the Bulldogs will be starting. We got one change off the Bulldog lineup tonight. Instead of Bo Gidgel, it'll be the freshman Lane Sarver. He's a 6'6 freshman from New Madison, Ohio. J.T. DeBuck, averaging 9 a game from Broward County, Florida. Jalen Johnson, he's averaging 9 from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And then Jeremiah Littlepage, the big guy from Birmingham at 6'8", averaging 10 points and 6 rebounds a game. And I'll say hi to Ma Littlepage one more time, as we always do down in Birmingham. And Ty Parks, Union's leading scorer and rebounder, 19 points a game and 7 rebounds. And Ty is from Pocahontas, Tennessee. Those are your starters for both of the teams tonight, brought to you by Worthy Road Studios, #1 across West Tennessee in video production for sports, live events, and church services. Worthy Road Studios, I'm very proud to be part of. And at this point, we're about a half a minute before we tee it up, so with the preliminaries. So I'm going to head down and do a little business, and I will be right back up here in the booth. And they bring them on here. Here's Jeremiah Littlepage. Union trying to get back into the victory column after a couple of rough defeats last week. This North Georgia team is not going to be an easy one, trust me. But Steve Beverly with you for all of the play-by-play tonight here on the Bulldog Network with Worthy Road Sports. And we're glad to have you with us. And particularly a warm welcome to all of you, parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, and, if you will, all the cousins that may be out there, friends of the players of both of these teams. I know that they appreciate you watching tonight and seeing their talent play, and it is always good to have those from the visiting school with us. North Georgia, I've vacationed in Dahlonega before, one of the most beautiful and picturesque cities in North Georgia. And here we go. And the official trying to get them into position and let the games begin, and the Bulldogs will take. Bulldogs had a much better outing Saturday from behind the arc than that dismal 2 for 20 last Tuesday night. And Littlepage has it snatched away, and he retrieves it. Union already down to 10 on the shot clock. This is going to be a tough defense that they're facing tonight, and the turnaround jumper does not fall through for Jalen Johnson, but Union gets it back. And it's Ty Parks. They double team him, and it's good, and the foul. That's patience when you have somebody like Ty Parks to get that turnaround that way. And he's got literally one defender on each side of him, and then he just nails it home. And that foul is charged to Greg Billups Jr. And Parks, an excellent free throw shooter, comes in 88% for the season and gives Union the early lead 3-0. And Union's going to go into a modified half-court trap, at least in portions of this game, to try to see if they can unsettle some of the offense of North Georgia. North Georgia averaging 81 points a game. Backdoor play, that's what Frank Champion is just noted for. He's not afraid of any defender that comes up against him. Averages 20 a game. He has all the tools in his kit. And turning around and just not getting it to fall was Littlepage. It's a very fast North Georgia team for the three. Just a little bit right, and the rebound comes off to Sarver after Smith missed. They've got Sutton Smith in the starting lineup. And Union up with a 5-2 lead. That one's Parks, and he's got all 5 of them to start it. And that's one thing that this team will get it whipped around that perimeter very quickly, but there were too many people back down court, and they were able to get the offensive board. And for the three, we are tied once again. Case Roach from Travelers Rest, South Carolina. I'm very familiar with that because it's not far from where I used to live in Spartanburg. Nice little small tourist city. We're 2 minutes into it here at Fred DeLay Gymnasium on David Blackstock Court in Jackson, Tennessee. And look at that intense defense that Champion is giving to Littlepage. From the corner, the three is short, but it is deep. Back at the top of the key, and it's Iron Unkind, and the rebound off to Shedenhelm. And are they going to give it to him? No, it is an offensive foul. Charge that one to Shedenhelm, and so that's the second team foul on the Nighthawks. And saying hello to our friend Buffy Burson, longtime coach of the North Georgia Nighthawks in women's basketball. This is only the second time that Union and North Georgia have ever met. First time ever on this floor. Boy, the women's teams had some real rivalries in the late 90s and in the double O's. 9 on the shot clock. Fall away three is there. Excellent by Jalen Johnson. So 6 of Union's 8 points have been from behind the arc. They get it inside to Champion, and he had it snatched away. But look at this, a third opportunity at the basket, and he finally draws the foul. He is relentless. Foul is charged to Ty Parks. That's Union's first. So at the line, Frank Champion. And I can guarantee you in the Peach Belt Conference, he's going to be right there with the all-star teams at the end of the season. Gets the second of 2. Champion shoots 65% from the field. He's only a 62% free throw shooter. So 1 out of 2 is usually what you would expect from him. And Union leads at 8-6. And we got a whistle away from the ball, and it's going to be, looks like an offensive foul. I'm going to check what the official says. That is going to be charged to Jalen Johnson. That is his first. So each team with 2 team fouls here in the first 3.5 minutes of the contest. It is a miserable, and I mean miserable night, and it has been a miserable day just about all day in Jackson, Tennessee, hence the very slim crowd we have here tonight. A lot of people decided to mail it in. I hope if you did that you're watching right now. Long 3 off to the right for Roach. And Union coming down with its 4th rebound of the contest. This is Parks. And sometimes he'll hold on to that 7 and 8 seconds until he sees the passing lane he wants. Double spin move, and again, the second time tonight that Littlepage has not been able to get the angle right on his bank shot. From the corner, the 3, and again, off the mark. Iron unkind. Roach had the range, but it just bounced off the iron, and Bulldogs with a chance to go back ahead by 4. And that was one where they were expecting a cut, and it didn't happen by Parks, and that one goes out of bounds, and so 15-32 remaining in the first half. It's Union 8, North Georgia 6.
We realize you have a busy lifestyle, and at the Bank of Jackson, we're here to help you fulfill all of your financial needs, personal and business loans, mortgages, online banking and bill pay, and so much more. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
So, Dave Niven with an 8-6 lead here at the first timeout break. And this is one I know that for an emotional lift, the Bulldogs really are hoping to be able to take this one. They will be on the road after this one is over with. And looking down the schedule, this weekend will be at Christian Brothers on Friday night, and then there's an entire week off, and then they're going to play a Friday and Sunday on the road at West Florida and at Valdosta State. The reason there's no games during the weeknights next week is because of the fact that NCAA rules prevent any games being played on weeknights during a final exam week, and you've got 2 different weeks that affect different universities in this conference, and so that's why there won't be any weeknight games played the next 2 weeks after this one. And snatched away by Jalen Johnson. That was relentless defense on his part. Long 3 for Parks, short. That was a little bit, maybe about 3 feet beyond his true range. And working the perimeter again, Champion going against Bo Gidgel, who's now in the game for Union. And they've got Dujan Jordovic in as well from the corner, the 3. It is there. Nicely navigated down the heart for A.J. White. He's 55% in three-point shooting on the season, and that gives North Georgia its first lead at 9-8. And Gidgel takes that curl hook, and it gets the friendly roll. So Gidgel gets his first 2 of the contest. Parks is the game leader with 5, and Union back to the lead at 10-9. Again, you've got, on this ball club, you have so many weapons, so many threats. You've got 3 double-digit scorers and Champion going against Jordovich, and it's just so hard the way he has that pivot and multiple spin moves on the inside. They're going to have to try to defend him, and that's a hard thing to do with a guy with a 20-point-a-game average. Big long 3, and it was just off the mark for Johnson. And Jordovich didn't go after that one, and so it is North Georgia ball. And Union's going to back away from the press this time. I always enjoy seeing a new team come onto this floor that we've never seen before to see how they adjust in here. And that one was blocked on the inside on the attempt by Billups. So Union again passing around the perimeter. Taking it to the inside. The bank doesn't go, but the foul does. And that one's going to be charged to Frank Champion. That's his first. That's the 3rd team foul. And that will send Bo Gidgel to the line. Bo averaging on the season 14 a game, 9 rebounds as well. He's Union's leading rebounder. And Bo's one of these that he has a lot of major moves to the basket. He can also pull up and fire it from outside. And he connects. On the season, Bo is only a 61% free throw shooter. Checking in for Union again is Sarver, and also for North Georgia is Roach. Taking a deep breath on this one. And short. Yeah, Bo usually gives you 1 out of 2 as well, like Champion. We're all tied at 11. And boy, what great off-balance dribbling that you had there for Roach, but North Georgia reclaims the ball after Union had the rebound. And for the 3. No, iron unkind, and it's Jordovich with a rebound. They get it quickly there. Big bomb. And almost got the Plinko drop. So it's North Georgia ball. And we will see indeed how Coach Dan Evans plays this one. Down to 12 and a half minutes to go in this first half. We had a pretty rapid scoring clip, and that was just a case of taking his eye off the ball before he caught it. And unfortunately lost out of bounds by White. But the scoring has really slowed down in this 4-minute period of the first half. Now, look at how Gidgel is working hard against Champion. And also is being challenged by Billups. Union will have it with 17 to go on the shot clock. And Jordovich is open and lost it. So Union will have it with 13 seconds remaining on the shot clock. I think Roach was negotiating for possession but didn't get it. There's a lot of height to deal with on the inbounds play from the defenders. And the 3. And again, rimming out, but Union with the offensive board. DeBuck. And he's all over it. Gidgel goes down with a floater. Bo has 5 now, and Union back to a slim 2-point lead at 13-11. This is similar to what we saw in their game on Saturday against West Georgia, where Union had the first half lead and then just particularly in the early part of the second half just saw that one go away. And DeBuck a little bit out of control with the dribble, and then it was Gidgel who broke it back up at the opposite end, and we've got timeout. 11:26 remaining in what is now a rather low-scoring game. Union 13, North Georgia 11.
Buying a home is a major milestone, and at the Bank of Jackson, we want to help you achieve it. Our mortgage specialists assist you with conventional, VA, FHA, or construction loans, as well as USDA and THDA development loans. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Union on top 13-11. They were up 2 when we took our 16-minute break. And this has been a rather interesting defensive battle so far. Neither team is shooting exceptionally well. Union 5 of 14, 36%. North Georgia 4 of 13 for 31%. And three-pointers, Union is back to their woes, 1 out of 6 for 17%. And North Georgia 2 out of 7 for 29. So that's not exactly a clinic tonight. Rebounding, North Georgia has the edge 10-9. And in turnovers, each team has given it up 3 times, but Union has picked up 5 points off of North Georgia mistakes. North Georgia hasn't been able to capitalize yet. We'll see if the Nighthawks begin to try to do something with that. And your game-leading scorer, champion for North Georgia with 5, and the same for Parks and Gidgel of Union. Only the second meeting between these two teams. Union won it last year in Dahlonega, Georgia. But this is an intensely powerful North Georgia team. That floater will not go for champion, and the rebound came off to Johnson. And they've got Newsom in the game now for Union, and he can do things from all corners of the court. And underneath, they cannot get it to fall, but Littlepage with the rainbow hook on the putback. Union by 4. That's Jeremiah's first basket of the game. Sarver's in, and we also have Yvonne Prug into the game now for Union. Looks like Yvonne has gone to the crew cut. They thought about pulling up for the 3. And between the defenders, and it was nicely blocked. Champion wants it, but instead the fall away is there for Bastianoni. 15-13. Giancarlo with perfect form on that jumper. Prug, not a prolific scorer as of yet for Union. Littlepage, fall away jumper. He can hit from outside. And Jeremiah with his second basket, Union back by 4. And again, off the back of the iron. That one was one that Giancarlo was robbed on. And we're under 10 minutes in this first half. Prug is playing way out front, but sets his screen. And the corner, the long bomb. It is off the mark. And a foul from behind, and that is going to be charged over the back to Emmanuel Newsom. So North Georgia will play it underneath. And checking out for a bit will be Billups. And back in is Roach. And Roach is going at the post right now. This is a little more of a 5-guard offense right now. A little floater that does not fall. And it is Littlepage who gets the tip on the rebound. Getting close to 9 minutes remaining in this first half. Littlepage working one-on-one on Champion. Big bomb three. It's there. Ivan Prug with his first three of the evening. Union now 2 out of 8 from behind the arc. And right between the defenders, and he had the perfect reverse layup, and it wouldn't fall for Smith. And it was a down the stretch for Littlepage, and he didn't get it high enough off the glass. Look at the speed coming down of White. Big bomb three is an answer. It is there. Perfectly navigated for Shedenhelm. That's his first one of the evening. 5 different Nighthawks have scored. We're heading close to another media timeout. Union holding on to that 4-point lead. Now they're down to 8 to shoot. Prug's going to take it down the baseline. Littlepage has got to let it go, and that was well short, and he had a big hand in his face. They got the screen for the three once again, and it bounds out and parks the rebound. The jumper. Newsome does not get the Plinko drop. 7.5 remaining in this first half. It's been very quickly played. There have been very few personal fouls, and Champion thought he was going to get a cut from Roach, and instead it was just too far outside the range, and with 7:29 remaining, timeout once again. It is Union 20, North Georgia 16.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
And the pep band striking up once again. At halftime, we're going to have our third in a series of features on Union's bicentennial year, and you're going to hear from some alumni of this campus that have been successes in a variety of fields, and you're going to be hearing them tell about what this university meant to them. In 2003, Union will be indeed 200 years old, and comes at a time shortly after the city of Jackson, Tennessee celebrated its bicentennial year. So stay with us for that at halftime. 7:29 to go. Bulldogs up by 4, and they'll play it because we had the turnover at the end of that period. So let's see what DeBuck can do. They've held him scoreless so far. As we say, this has been more of a defensive struggle. Neither team shooting close to their percentage on the season. And here you go, Gidgel. He's hemmed up by 2 defenders, but look at that fake, and he lays it through. He pulled back and then went forward again, and that's what Bo Gidgel gives you, that you can't coach that kind of thing. Union, its largest lead now at 6. And trying to get that curl layup off the glass, and Roach couldn't get it high enough. Geometry just a shade short. Gidgel, he can get on a run and score points in pockets. And I can see him on the inside, the fake, and the left-hander goes through for Ty Parks. Ty and Gidgel each with 7 for the Bulldogs. And we're down to 6:10 to go in, and going right down the lane. And there you go. They were just asleep at the wheel on defense, and Smith lays it in for his first basket. And for the 3. No, it is short for Gidgel. He had a good look at it, and they weren't challenging him that hard, and that's going to be a foul on Gidgel. That is only the fourth team foul of the half on Union. 3 team fouls on North Georgia, so nobody is in any kind of serious trouble so far. So North Georgia will play it over in the corner with Shedenhelm to throw it in. And here they go once again, way out front. Champion working against Ty Parks, and they have arms hooked, and they're double-teaming Champion. They've scouted what he can do. And the bank goes through. Nicely navigated. Great determination by Bethea. (24-20), Union on top. Bulldogs trying to get back over the 500 mark. They're 3-3 on the season, 2-1 in the Gulf South Conference. North Georgia comes into this one at 4-1. Their last outing was a win over Fort Valley State in a thriller, 61-59. And a little bit of a fake trying to get it up there was Shedenhelm. He thought about the three but didn't go for it. 13 on the shot clock, and it does not get the friendly roll. And let's see who the foul is called on. That's going to be charged. A little bit of a bump for Bastianoni. So Union will play it. Everybody's got 4 team fouls, and we're at 4:45 to go in the first half, so we're really not even close to a bonus yet. That's usually a rarity, but both these teams have been playing really relatively clean ball. And the jumper for DeBuck. Iron unkind, but Parks pulls it off of the offensive board. And that was just casual passing. Bo needed to kick that one up a notch, and so Union commits its 5th turnover. The interesting thing, though, is that Union has picked up 7 points off the 4 turnovers that North Georgia has made. North Georgia hasn't capitalized on a single one. That could happen here, though. And underneath on the drive, the foul is going to send Bethea to the foul line. And DeBuck is charged with his first foul. And this young man is from Lawrenceville, Georgia, up in Gwinnett County. He's a junior, 6'1", went to Decula High School. And they count on him for some strong minutes off the bench and for free throws like he just delivered to close the gap now to 2. It's a 6-0 run. It's been so gapped apart in time that it seems like it's been a long time, but it's a 6-0 run now for the Nighthawks, and that one just way too high for Gidgel to navigate, and so they're going to get Newsom back in and bring DeBuck out, and with 3:58 to go, we got another media timeout. So it's Union on top of West Georgia, 24-22.
Championship DNA. That's what you find at Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way. A full line of new Chevrolets plus West Tennessee's largest used car inventory. State-of-the-art service work and pre-approved auto loans online at JonesChevroletHumboldt.com. Shop with a winner. Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way. The most important benefit when you buy from Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way? Peace of mind. Jones Chevrolet's warranty forever comes with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle. Powertrain coverage for as long as you own your vehicle. Find out more at Jones Chevrolet in Three-Way.
Lady Bulldog cheerleaders, they put in so much time and practice, and they are very dedicated young women. And to get the spirit and the energy going, it's tough to do when you have a very slim crowd like tonight. But hopefully when we get beyond Christmas and we get into the January, this is the first year. I don't know that it is first year in history, but it's the first year in recent history that Union will be starting its spring semester in January. For so many years, they had a short term in January, and the bulk of the students didn't come back until after February 1st. But it all changed, and the faculty took a vote and decided that they were going to go the other way with that, and following a pattern with so many other universities. So the students will be back in large number in January this year, and I know that'll be a boost for this team, particularly if we can get them out here to the gym. Under 4 minutes. Bulldogs clinging to a 2-point lead that was once 8. And again, Union staying in a man-to-man. Champion against Gidgel. Boy, he is crisp with those passes. Down to 5 on the shot clock. They got to hurry. Turnaround is blocked. And here you go. This is going to be it. Goodbye. Down the stretch he goes. Ty Parks with the exclamation point. Boy, once he got into the secondary, there was no stopping him. Underneath. Nice job of drawing that foul. Guy like Billups, that's what you have to do. You have 2 on you underneath, and you're trying to get that ball in. So he tried for a reverse layup, but hoping that he would at least draw the foul, and he indeed did. And he delivers the first of 2. This North Georgia team expected to be a strong contender in men's basketball in the Peach Belt Conference, but they have some extraordinary foes that they have to go through. They close the lead back to 2, and a bit of a press here, a bit of a half-court trap. And Newsom appears to be ready to break it. And they slow the tempo down. We're under 3 minutes in the first half. Going for the 3. He had an open look, and the iron was unkind again. And the jumper. It was a great motion on that. It looked as though White had the range, but the cylinder wouldn't allow it. And Gidgel just in too much traffic there, but they cough it right back up. So charge that as a turnover to North Georgia. They were trying for a home run, and Gidgel thought about the 3. Parks an opening down the lane and couldn't get it up high enough again. That was excellent defense on the part of the Nighthawks. And the block down at the opposite end by Gidgel. Newsom's going to slow it down, and Parks for the 3. Nope. Well, the shooting has just gone ice cold once again as we're down to 2 minutes. And North Georgia, another a chance to tie or take the lead. And this is Smith trying to go down the lane himself and overshoots it. Just a little bit too much of an angle on it. And the 3. And way off the mark. Way right. Gidgel just didn't have the authority on that three-pointer. And for the bomb. It is there. Right through the heart for Bastianoni. Now, did they give him a 2? And we got a 30-second timeout. We're going to keep it right here. 26 all. Apparently, they only gave him a 2. They said his foot was on the line, so it's 26 all instead of 27-26. That fooled me just a bit because I thought surely that was a 3 because he appeared to have the motion on that. He got that pep band striking back up. Our next TV game is going to be on a rare Friday night. And that is going to be on the 16th as Montevallo comes to town from Alabama. And we'll look forward to seeing them. And then that Sunday afternoon, 1 week from Christmas, on the 18th, we got a doubleheader, a rare one on Sunday afternoon at 2 and 4 against Auburn Montgomery. So mark your calendars for those two. And as we mentioned, we have one that will be coming your way. There will be a game, and there you go, Union's trio of cheerleaders that are back, and they're saying, Mom, just make sure that the food is still on the table when we finish finals. Getting down to the final minute of the first half. And open is Parks. And can't get the roll. So North Georgia, a chance to take its second lead of the contest. And that's why Champion is the player he is. He does things that many people don't do with the ball. Has that long body extension. 28-26. North Georgia now with its largest lead. They'd had a 1-point lead at 11-10 before that one. The Union has just been really silent. And here you go, turnover. And this is going to be a no contest all the way down for White as Union coughs it up. They're going to have to hurry to try to get one off. They're down to 8. And they threw it away again. Bulldogs are imploding. Long bomb. Almost in there. Just off the back of the iron. That would have been about a 45-footer. Union had a 24-16 lead, and it's a 14-2 run for North Georgia as we close the half to make it Nighthawks on top, 30-26. Let me give you a quick rundown on the scoring here. And it's evenly distributed on both sides. You've had 8 different Nighthawks to score. Champion is the leader with 7. He also has 4 rebounds. And you got 5 points for A.J. White. The rest of them are 3s and 4s across the board and a couple of 2s. And for Union, it's Ty Parks with 9. He has missed all 4 of his 3-point opportunities, or else he might be in double digits already. He's got 5 rebounds to lead the Bulldogs, 7 for Bo Gidgel, and he's also missed both of his 3-point opportunities. This is another tough one from behind the arc for the Bulldogs, 15% in 3-pointers in that first half. So the Bulldogs are trailing 30-26 here at halftime, and so for our halftime feature tonight, we're going to continue this celebration of Union's bicentennial year, and that celebration will continue on until spring semester is over. And for a school that has such a rich and storied history, it's always good to hear from alumni who can look back on their days on this campus in Jackson, Tennessee, and say what it meant to them, professors who meant a lot to them, and how it helped them in the chosen fields that they are in. And after these messages, we're going to take you right to that.
That will be is indeed from God's bountiful blessing. I hope you will celebrate with us this evening as we hear from former staff, from former students, parents, and friends of Union. Now I'd like to introduce our host for the evening. She's a 1996 alumna. She currently serves as the Public Information Officer for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Prior to the TBI, she was the Communication Coordinator for the Jackson-Madison County School System. And that followed a 20-year career as a television broadcast journalist here in Jackson, in Oklahoma City, and Seattle. Please welcome Kelly McAllister.
Thank you so much, Dub. It is truly a joy to spend this evening with each of you. My time at Union is truly cherished. The foundation and friendships built during my time on campus are still growing today. I am blessed to be part of the Union family. Tonight we have the pleasure of hearing from former administrators as well as former Board of Trustee chairs. Our first panel consists of men and women who represent 60 years in collective attendance to Union through their own attendance and their families, and 10 collective years of serving as chairman of the Board of Trustees. Outside of their commitment to Union, they have been integral members of banking, financial investment, and medicine. Please welcome to the stage Robin Harry, Rod Parker, Lisa Rogers, and Chad Wilson. Good evening, welcome. What a great crowd, right? We're so glad that you're here tonight. We are going to start with a few questions. We'll kind of start from the beginning, if you will. What drew you to Union as a student? Lisa.
Well, I will say my father, whom some of you knew, Brother Mel Williams, was not on the payroll, but was a great advocate for Union and made as many tours of Union's campus as probably any of the admission counselors. He brought every young person that he knew, high school student or even earlier than that, to come tour the campus and see how great Union was. So in addition to my older sister attending Union, which led me toward that direction, and an opportunity to get to meet Dr. Craig when I was about 12 years old, and he encouraged me to go to Union. It seemed like by far the logical choice. I knew it had great academics. I wanted to go into medicine, and that was very important, and that was true. But that's kind of the path that led me to Union. Also, I want to say there were Carol Griffin, in addition to Dr. Craig, Carol Griffin and Don Morris were very instrumental in getting me there and keeping me there.
Thank you, Lisa. Rod?
Well, my dad, when I was in high school, he had mentioned Union and wanted me to go there, but I didn't want to go to Union because I was going to go to Memphis State and play basketball with Keith Lee. But for some reason, Dana Kirk wasn't really interested in me. So as I realized that wasn't going to work, my dad said, okay, if you go to Memphis, you're going to pay your own way. If you go to Union, I'll pay your way. Now, but in the meantime, I had a phenomenal enrollment counselor. Her name was Teresa Luna, who stuck with me in my entire senior year, sent me pictures and it was in the paper, whatever. And she stayed in touch with me just to make sure that I knew what was going on. And, you know, a lot of you probably know Teresa, a super successful retired teacher, now successful attorney. And it's amazing how God placed me in Jackson and used her to influence me along the way.
Thank you, Rod. Chad?
Well, if I'm being completely candid,
We want honesty.
I was initially attracted to Union because at that time, I believe the girl-to-guy ratio was 4-to-1. So that was exciting for an 18-year-old. As I thought more about my college decision seriously, I realized that I wanted a place that was Christ-centered. And coming to campus, spending the night, getting to know some people on campus, I just quickly understood that it's a unique community. And I looked around and I thought, these are people that I would love to spend the next 4 years with. And they tell you when you're going into college, these are going to be your friends for the rest of your life. Sure enough, this morning I had breakfast with 3 of my former roommates and another classmate at Union. So those relationships are deep when you share the same values, when you're pursuing the same goal. It's a wonderful place to be. I will say the 4-to-1 ratio did work out pretty well because I met my wife at Union, and that's one of the greatest blessings of my time at Union.
God had a plan.
Indeed.
And Robin?
Well, as a third-generation Unionite, it was what I knew. Both my grandmother came to Union years ago, didn't finish. It was during the Depression, had to leave school to support her family. But then both my mom and dad, my older sister, and I happened to meet my husband right before my freshman year. And so my parents moved to Oklahoma at that time. And so I told them they could go away to college and I was staying home. But it was just a place that I knew. I tried to think back, and I can't really remember a time where it wasn't where I wanted to go.
I love hearing that. So how did your time as an undergraduate at Union prepare you for where the Lord was calling you? Chad.
When I came to Union, I thought that I wanted to teach music, so I got a degree in music education. And I got out into the student teaching realm, and 7th grade girls did me in. I thought I could control a classroom until I was faced with that, and realized very quickly I loved to teach, but that was not my calling. And what Union did is it opened up for me, though, the categories that I had kind of placed life in. Faith is here, family is here, occupation is here, and Union destroyed those walls and those categories and helped me to see that you don't compartmentalize the Christian life, that it is meant to affect everything that we do and every occupation that we might pursue. And so when I realized that I could be a minister in the marketplace, it truly changed my trajectory and changed my direction. And so the Lord allowed that understanding at Union to allow me to see financial services as a platform for ministry.
Rod?
Well, first of all, the influences that 2 or 3 of the professors in particular, I saw 2 of them today. They were honored in the Wall of Honor, or whatever it was called today. Dr. Padelford and Dr. Newell had a huge impact on me as a student, and challenged me. And they both were strong believers, and I really looked up to them for that. And I was very blessed to sit through their classes all those years. And then the leadership development through fraternity was really good. And then the friendships that I built over the years that were Christian friends that I still have today, and I have a lot of them. You know, we were students together. We weren't necessarily in the same fraternity. We see each other around. It's kind of a neat bond when you see those guys and ladies out. And I think that even though in the 80s the Christian worldview wasn't taught like it is today at Union, it was still there. It just wasn't emphasized as much. I think there was subconsciously, I was being fed that along the way, and that's had a big impact on me.
Robin?
Well, I too had Dr. Padelford and Dr. Newell, and I told Dr. Newell today, when I saw he and Dr. Padelford earlier today, I started getting anxious, thinking economics and finance exams and all of that. But right after we graduated from college, we moved to Detroit, Michigan. And I went to work for one of the big 8 accounting firms at the time. And they had, when I was interviewing with them, they had never heard of Union University. They didn't know anything about it. They only did recruiting from University of Michigan, Michigan State, Notre Dame. But they took a chance on me. And thanks to those professors, this little girl from the South, didn't know what to do with, could hang right in there with all of those other grads. And so I'll forever be thankful for the academic excellence that I had here at Union.
Wonderful to hear from those cherished alumni of Union University and what their years here on this campus have meant to them and leading into the careers that all of them have practiced. Union trails North Georgia 30-26 after giving up 14 of the last 16 points in the first half. Let's take a look in. This is not exactly a clinic you're seeing here in a lot of these categories. Union 33% from the floor, 11 out of 33. And North Georgia, 11 of 32 for 34%. So they're pretty well dead even. It's just not been a good shooting night for either team. In three-pointers, Union is having another one of those nightmarish evenings, 2 out of 13 for 15%. And that's going to have to improve for them to challenge in this second half. West Georgia, not a great deal better, 3 out of 9 for 33%. They're closer to their average on the season of 36. In free throws, Union has only been to the line 3 times and hit 2 of them for 67%. 5 out of 6 for North Georgia for 83. The rebounding seems extremely high for halftime on both of these teams' ends because of the fact there have been so many missed shots. 21 rebounds for each team. Union with the edge in offensive boards, 5-4. Bulldogs, particularly down the stretch in the last 2.5 minutes, committed 4 turnovers. And that put their tally up to 8 to only 5 for West Georgia. And I think I may have incorrectly transferred that total. Union actually has picked up 7 points off turnovers from West Georgia. So they have the edge in that category, but it hasn't made a difference in the score because West Georgia is on top, 30-26. So those are your halftime stats, brought to you by Worthy Road Studios, #1 in video production all across West Tennessee for sports, special events, church services. Worthy Road Sports is #1. And we're about a half minute away from tipping off this second half. We'll see what kind of adjustments Dave Niven has made after what was really a pretty steady. As we say, they got out to a lead of 24-16, and then they just couldn't hit anything in that final 3 to 3.5 minutes and turned the ball over 4 times out of the number that they've had. And so here we go. And let's see if they can get the second half started on a more positive note. And I believe it's going to be the Nighthawks that will play it in first. We'll be back here on December the 16th. That seems a long time away, but it'll go by pretty fast because Christmas usually does in the season. We'll be here December the 16th on a Friday night for a doubleheader against Montevallo, and I hope all of you will be here to join us on the Bulldog Network wherever you watch. And I meant to say a special hello to those of us watching them on the Stream On app on Roku. Good to have all of you folks, and there are a lot of you from Canada, and so say hello to all of our Canadian friends tonight. Champion. They got him hemmed up, and he has it stolen. Littlepage reached out and pulled it away, but the Bulldogs need to capitalize off that early mistake. It's a huge emotional lift if they can do that. You got DeBuck directing traffic. And DeBuck right in the paint. They got to hurry down to 6. And Gidgel couldn't lift that up high enough. Niven wanted a foul, didn't get it. They got Roach playing against Littlepage at the post. And once again, Roach thought about the 3, instead goes to the inside, has it blocked. So the teams trade defensive strategy here in the early part of the second half. This game started at 6, and we're only at 6:50 starting the second half. It's going to go by fast tonight, I have a strong feeling. 10 on the shot clock. Bulldogs have not been able to penetrate the inside well. Gidgel going for an air ball. And Bo is just not being able to put it together. I mean, he's got 7 points. But from outside, and they're going to get Krug back in. From outside, the Bulldogs have just been dismal tonight. 2 of 14. I hate to sound like a broken record on that because they were much better Saturday afternoon. Here's Smith. And Champion goes for the jumper, and that's a 2. Had his foot in the gray. But, let's see, we got a whistle away from the ball. So they're going to bring in a reserve. And, I think what it was is that Gidgel caught it in the chest somehow, and so he's holding right chest area, and so he'll get some attention from the training staff. And he is apparently headed right back to the locker room. We hope he's going to be okay. Union down by 6. That's the largest deficit for the Bulldogs in this game. And it's just been very steady play, a 16-2 run on the part of North Georgia. 5, and DeBuck's going to have to take this one himself, and they're going to have to put one up. And he couldn't get it off in time. That was one of those that either Parks didn't know how much time was left on the shot clock, or he was trying for a drive, not knowing he had to put one up quickly. So turnover number 9 for the Bulldogs. And that's a frustration when it goes on a 30-second shot clock violation. And again, staying largely in a man-to-man. They go inside the Champion, and he kicks that one. That was a blind pass intended for Roach, and knocked it out of bounds. So Smith will toss it in. And, oh, look at the fake underneath. That was a brilliant job by Billups. A 34-26 lead, and it has just been astounding, the run. 18-2 that they've been on, and almost lost by Parks, and they're triple teaming him inside. Finally decides to try one himself instead of dishing off, and it goes nowhere. Union just looks really disorganized at this point. Going down, yeah, that was a slide. Champion called for traveling. His foot just dragged, and it was a slide. So if Union is going to pick up some slack here and begins Cowboy Curling, makes his cameo appearance to clean up all of the moisture on the floor. We've said that if Union ever develops a curling team, this guy is going to be the coach. So let's see how Dave Niven plays it. We're under 17 minutes remaining to be played. And Littlepage with about a triple spin move and finally breaks the string. Jeremiah with 6. Union closes it to within 6, but they need stops as well. They go to the corner with Smith, and he beats everybody and gets the friendly spin. That was just pure speed. And the corner. That one's short. Parks high for the offensive board, and it is DeBuck for the 3. Jones Chevrolet 3 for Justin DeBuck to close it to within 5 at 36-31. And stolen. He was too far down underneath to navigate that pass. And going for the bomb. Yes, sir! 2 threes in a row. They have awakened. Parks with 12, and Union closes it now to within 2. Bulldogs had been just dead asleep. And looking like they may try to go for an answer shot and instead take it to the inside, and a good fake and a perfect left-hand reverse layup for Billups. And he has 6. And the kick to the outside. It is Prug. No. In and out. Rebound comes off to Champion. Champion's 9 points have been scattered out so much they've been a quiet 9 tonight. Big long 3. Yes, sir. Roach nails one, and that puts it back to a 7-point margin. Union climbed that ladder and got it down to within 2. And now, once again, it is a 7-point deficit. Bulldogs began to get a little steam from behind the arc, and here's Littlepage. And he's going to be, no, that's going to be steal. Goodbye. There's the stuff. Billups. And back down at the opposite end, and the foul. And Union needed that one for some emotion. DeBuck with the Bank of Jackson shot. And 14:22 remain in this first half of play, and we have timeout. It is 43-36, North Georgia on top. We've only had 11 personal fouls called in this game on the backside of that layup by DeBuck. Champion commits his second. Union has Ty Parks with 2, but Union's only committed 6 fouls. North Georgia 5. Nobody got into the bonus in the first half. And we've gone 5.5 minutes, and that was the first foul of any kind in this second half. But once again, it has been North Georgia's shooting percentage has finally shot up to about 44. And Union's at 36, but it's one of these that still looks like it's more of a defensive battle out on the floor tonight. Ty Parks is the game leader with 12, and Champion with 9 for North Georgia, and DeBuck attempting to get a three-point play. JT with 5 in the game so far. And on the season, he is only a 62% free throw shooter, so he needs this one, more importantly, to narrow the gap. And does. So it's 43-37, and Bulldogs back into that half-court trap. But North Georgia is managing to steady the waters very easily. And watch them try to space out the defenders and get some space themselves. And that's part of how they did it. Right underneath they go, and laying it in easily was Roach. He has 8. Littlepage, he's done more ball handling tonight than I've seen him all season long. And let's see what Jeremiah does against Champion. 10 on the shot clock. They got to hurry to get some kind of opening. Champion just moves in and picks up everybody. And Littlepage with a double fake and couldn't get it to go. And give it to North Georgia. He had a head fake. He had a body fake and could not get the layup to go. And Union is in danger of going down double digits. And once that happens, even though there's still plenty of time in this one, it is hard to climb that ladder back against a team like the Nighthawks. And that's, again, they had it open underneath. They didn't take it. So they're back outside 15 on the shot clock. 3 is off the iron. Gidgel, who's back in the game, comes down with it. And let's see how Dave Niven plays it. Well, I don't think Dave called that one. That was just Jalen Johnson taking it, and Union needed that 3. Bulldogs now 5 of 19 in the contest. Still under 30%. That one's a foul over the back. Charged that one to Sarver. He was trailing his man and trying to get a swat away on it and caught him on the arm. And Ty Parks will check back in after a very brief rest. And so going to the line for a couple is Billups. On the season, he averages 9, and he has a chance to top that at this appearance at the line. And he did not get the Plinko drop. So many times over the years on The Price is Right, it looked like a contestant was going to get that $10,000 and it drops and it went into zero. So that's why we adopted that term, the Plinko drop. Charge that one to The Price is Right. And misses them both. That is very, very rare for Billups. .67% shooter from the line. He rarely ever misses 2 straight. That's a wide open opportunity for Union. DeBuck between 2 defenders tried to force that one. And Dave's going to get Bordovich back into the contest. You just can't weave it like the eye of a needle in there. It just isn't going to happen against this defense. For the 3. No, iron was unkind, but they come down hard as Bethea gets the rebound. Chance of defense from the Bulldog bench. We're under 12 minutes. We'll have a timeout on the next break in the action. Each coach has 3 timeouts remaining. The 3 is perfectly navigated by Bastianoni. That is his first of the evening, and it's back to an 8-point margin. Union could have closed it down to within 3. And again, the bounce pass just goes nowhere for Johnson. And they've got a 3-on-2. And the bank goes right in. It was a high bank, but Bethea connects. Every Nighthawk who has played has scored, and it's now a 10-point margin for North Georgia at 50-40, and they're now shooting 46% from the floor. 75% in this half, 9 for 12 for the Nighthawks. And that is an offensive foul. Yep, he led with the elbow to the chest, and it was a perfect defensive position on the part of Roach. Niven didn't agree with the call, and he was out to have a debate about it, but we got 11:02 remaining. North Georgia 50, Union 40.
We realize you have a busy lifestyle, and at the Bank of Jackson, we're here to help you fulfill all of your financial needs, personal and business loans, mortgages, online banking and bill pay, and so much more. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And we thank all of our fine sponsors, including the Bank of Jackson, Gary Grisham, and all of the great folks there. And be sure to tell them that you appreciate Union basketball on the Bulldog Network. Dave Niven trying to figure out some kind of strategy, because what has happened is his team has done pretty well defensively, but they cannot come back down the floor and seemingly be able to capitalize on any mistakes that are made by North Georgia. And by that I mean also one-shot possessions that aren't technically turnovers. They had a chance to close it to within 3 and made an ill-advised pass. So now they're down by 10 once again with 11:02 remaining. So here they go. I'm trying to look and see where we're headed, and it is going to be Nighthawk basketball, and Union is going to be in that half-court trap once again. It has not worked very well to its advantage tonight. And again, this has been a precision team in this second half, particularly not making mistakes, crisp passing, and again, as we mentioned, excellent shooting in this second half, 9 out of 12. And that's going to be an offensive foul. That's charged to Bastianoni. That's only his second, and it's only the second team foul for North Georgia in the half. I would not be surprised unless we get late in the game and it's close. I would not be surprised if we don't have a team at the bonus, and they've come over to discuss something with Don Richard, the scorer. I guess they were clarifying who the foul was on. 2 fouls on Bastianoni and Champion, and for Union, 2 on Ty Parks. And a reach-in foul will be charged to Bethea, his first. And a couple of substitutes come in for Coach Evans. And let's see how Dave Niven plays this one. They have really been double-teaming Gidgel. And he's trying to set a screen for DeBuck. 7 on the shot clock. That left-hand one-hander doesn't go for Parks. He's grown a bit cold here in the mid-portion of this second half. Champion, they've done a good job double-teaming him tonight, but the big bomb 3 is right through the heart. That was a 30-footer for Smith. Sutton from Alpharetta just bombed it home. Biggest lead now at 53-40. Yordovich, top of the key, and then he goes back to Johnson. Parks, and he did not get away with that one. It was just a slight delay on it, but he led with the elbow. And again, defensive position for Shedenhelm. And so for Parks, that is his third personal foul. And for Union, turnover number 14. And the Bulldogs have just seemingly grown stone cold. Open for the three. Off the turnover for White. AJ with 8. 16-point lead. And at one point in this game, Union was up 24-16. Since then, it has been a 32-16 edge for North Georgia. And the fall away goes off to the left, and the foul is on Yordovich. And they'll get Yvonne Prug back into this game. Pardon me, my math was just a hair off on that. A 40-16 run on the part of North Georgia, since Union had that 8-point lead with 6.5 minutes remaining in the first half. And all of the numbers are going up higher for North Georgia in shooting, three-pointers, rebounding across the board. The jumper's off the mark. And Yordovich up high. If the Bulldogs have any hope of a comeback, it has to start now, not when you get down to about 6 minutes left, and you don't do it that way. Turnover number 15 for the Bulldogs. And look at Champion with that behind-the-back dribble. Open for the three. Yes, sir. Shedenhelm, his second three of the night. It is a 19-point lead, and Dave Niven is going to take his second timeout. 19-point lead for the Nighthawks. We'll be back right after this.
Buying a home is a major milestone, and at the Bank of Jackson, we want to help you achieve it. Our mortgage specialists can assist you with conventional, VA, FHA, or construction loans, as well as USDA and THDA development loans. Serving the Jackson area for 25 years. The Bank of Jackson, your down-home community bank. You belong here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Well, for Union, this is turned into the equivalent of one of those old late-night horror movies that they used to run on Saturday nights on local TV stations. Just nothing going right here in the second half. And they trailed 30-26 at halftime, and it's been a 29-14 edge for North Georgia in this second half, just dominating. And they have nobody in double figures yet for the Nighthawks. It is so evenly divided. Champion with 9. 8 each for Billups and Roach. 7 for Bastianoni and for Smith. 6 for Bethea and Shedenhelm. And White has 8. So, hey, they've just spread it all out. Ty Parks with 12 for Union. But in this second half, there's just been nothing there to really be help offensively here. And Dave Niven has both Gidgel and Parks on the bench right now. So let's see how he plays this one. Yordovich has some height. Otherwise, this is a relatively smaller lineup for the Bulldogs. And DeBuck tries to go underneath, and Prug with the reverse layup. Yvonne makes it 59-42. And they whip around the perimeter. They're in no hurry to try to drive one home unless they have a good look. tell you what, White thought about it. That one was knocked away, and so Union forcing a turnover. DeBuck. And on the outside, it is Sarver for the three. So after the timeout, Union puts 5 on the board. Still down 14 to this Nighthawk team that has been like a machine here in the second half. The backfire three, and it doesn't go. He shot that one from the back 40, as they used to say in South Georgia, where I'm originally from. And Yordovich. No, I cannot get it to go. That would have erupted the bench, and what fans we have here tonight if that had fallen. Because that would have been a 7-0 run. And that one goes astray. Charge the turnover to Champion. And we have another media timeout. 6:26 remaining. North Georgia still in control, 59-45.
Are you looking for a Christian college or starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Well, the Bulldogs making a little bit of a run, a 5-0 run right now to close it to 14. They had a chance to knock it down even 2 more and shot one astray, but they're looking for anything that can get them a flurry right now. Union 37% from the field, North Georgia 47%. 3-pointers, Union 6 out of 21. That's a little better than they were at one point when they were under 20. It's 29%, but North Georgia 8 of 17 for 47%. And those 3-pointers are spread amongst 5 different players. Union's had 5 different players to hit threes, but some of them have just been rough. You go through a string that they just don't drop. Leading rebounder in the game, Frank Champion with 8, and Smith, listen at this, 9 assists in tonight's game. He could wind up with a double-double. Union will play it with 6.5, just a little bit less than, to go in the game. And Sarver, boy, DeBuck went hard to the deck. That low center of gravity that he has just keeps him moving all the time. Big long 3, it's off the mark. Prug had the range, but it just hit the iron too quickly. And we're under 6. And this North Georgia team treats this just like a turnover. Forgive me if that happens on occasion, because you had West Georgia in here on the weekend. So you got the offensive foul, leading with the elbow. So Union with another opportunity, but they have to capitalize off these turnovers. And they have to play with some sense of urgency, down 14. This is 5 possessions that they're down. And it is Prug. Nope, just not there. They got the offensive board, and Sarver connects. Lane Sarver drops it back through to give him 5. They got to clean up all of those droplets down on the floor. So Union has a 7-0 run. It was 59-40. The question is, can they get enough stops here with 5.5 minutes remaining and then capitalize off of those? And I think you're going to find that answer probably within the next 3 minutes of game time. Here you go with Bastianoni back at the top of the key. And just wide open. That's what I say. They spread out the defenders, and then they got open space right down the middle. And that ends Union's 7-0 run. And from the corner, DeBuck. Once again, JT with his second three-pointer. So it's back to an 11-point lead. So Union has shaved 8 points off of what was a 19-point edge for the Nighthawks. But the Nighthawks are playing with extreme confidence. No panic, no worries. Open wide for the three. The answer shot right through the heart for Bethea. That is his third three-pointer of the game. 64-50. And the bomb, trying to go back again, not there for Johnson. And if you're a Union fan, that one hurt because you give up a three and then trying to match it, and you got a one-shot opportunity. They're working against Jordovich underneath. And it is Bastianoni, can't get it to fall, and Prug comes down with it. We're under 4 remaining. And a little bit frustrating for himself. No anger, but it was Billups trying to get it away. And we're at 3:50, and it's our final media timeout. West Georgia still on top by 14.
Championship DNA. That's what you find at Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way. A full line of new Chevrolets plus West Tennessee's largest used car inventory. State-of-the-art service work and pre-approved auto loans online at JonesChevroletHumboldt.com. Shop with a winner. Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way. The most important benefit when you buy from Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way? Peace of mind. Jones Chevrolet's warranty forever comes with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle. Powertrain coverage for as long as you own your vehicle. Find out more at Jones Chevrolet in Three-Way.
Well, the pep band has struck up again with one of my all-time favorites, Word Up. Maybe if somebody tries to improve on that awful revival of Password this summer, perhaps maybe Word Up will become the theme music for that classic game show that I thought was just abused horribly by Jimmy Fallon and friends during the summer. Dave Niven down 14, and this has had to be a frustrating night for him because his team has played well in spurts with this North Georgia team, including most of the first half, but a lot of the game momentum went away for Union at the tail end of the first half because in the final 2.5 minutes, it was a 14-2 run for North Georgia. And even though it was only a 30-26 lead at the halftime mark, it was just, frankly, it took all of the air out of what had been largely Union ahead by as many as 8 in the first half. And that's exactly what this North Georgia team will do to you. DeBuck, yes! Over his defender, he has 12, and that's three-pointers with that Jones Chevrolet three. It's back to 11, but taking his time is Smith. There's no hurry, no worries. This is like you're just calmly in the woods, enjoying the night air. And the fall-away three is not there, but they get the offensive board. That hurts Union's cause, and they spread it back out. 13 on the shot clock, and we're under 3 minutes to go in the game. It just doesn't look like there's going to be the minutes for Union to make another run. And it's a steal. Well, if they can capitalize here, they have a chance. DeBuck again, who has quarterbacked this club largely here, and the long bomb is way short. Just could not make that go for Prug. Needed a little more arc on it. And that might have been the last genuine opportunity for this Union team, because we're down to 2:15 to go in the game. And they're going to use every inch of clock that they possibly can. The give and go. It was partially blocked, but Champion is there, and He's the first man in double figures for this North Georgia team, but what more do they care? They're up by 13. And Union, with under 2 minutes left, is just going to have to try to run its offense because there's just a high unlikelihood. The analytics just suggest they're not going to be able to come from behind in this one. 66-55. DeBuck has done everything he can in these closing 5 to 6 minutes. And he's Union's leader with 14 points. But North Georgia just taking it calmly. Almost stolen. They're down to 10 on the shot clock. Champion, he was triangled in the middle. They go for the bomb. Yes, sir. Billups, 11 points. And that is his first 3 of the game. And it is 69-55 lead, and we're going to take time out real quick. We got 1:16 remaining. Bulldogs clearly just don't have enough time to make a flurry on this. It would be the miracle of miracles, and it looks as though they're going to fall to their 3rd straight defeat and be 3-4 on the season. There's no defeat in those young ladies for the Union Pep squad. And for North Georgia, they will go to 5-1. And we're down to the 1 minute mark. And DeBuck falls it away, and it doesn't work. And they will just, again, take their time and skate out. They can get it down to 27 seconds on the game clock. And you see Coach Evans spreading them out. And that's it's almost like what Dean Smith used to do before the shot clock era with his 4 corners offense. And a big 3 off the mark. Union will get it with one final opportunity at the basket. And DeBuck loses it. And I think they are just going to skate the game time out. They are spreading them out. And you can see Bethea just walks it to the rest of the way. And 69-55 is your final. North Georgia controlling virtually all of the second half to defeat Union 69-55. Union with an 8-point lead early in the contest. Let me run down the totals for you. We're going to try to get you out of here at 7:30 tonight. For North Georgia, it was Billups and Champion. Greg Billups Jr. and Frank Champion with 11 points each, 9 each for Bastianoni, Bethea, 8 points each for Roach and White. And then 7 for Smith. And they had 9 different players to score in tonight's game. For Union, 14 points for Justin DeBuck, who did everything he could down the stretch to try to get Union a rally, but it just was not enough. He was 5 of 9 from the floor, and he had 3 3-pointers and 3 assists in the game. 12 points for Ty Parks, but he really just cooled off in that second half. Things just were not going his way. He was 1 out of 5 in 3-pointers, and again, the Bulldogs had a rough night from behind the arc, 8 of 27 for 29.6%. And 6 points each, 7 for Gidgel, 6 points each for Johnson and Littlepage. But for our player of the game, I think there's still no question that you give that one to Frank Champion because of all the different things that he did. 11 points, 5 out of 7 from the floor, and then he had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and 2 blocked shots. He just had every type of category. We salute, certainly, Sutton Smith, who had 10 assists in the contest tonight. 1 more 3, and he would have had a double-double. But our Worthy Road Studios player of the game is going to be Frank Champion, and that's pretty much what you would expect in a game like this. So the Bulldogs go down to their 3rd consecutive defeat. They're 3-4 on the season, and so they will hit the road on Friday night. They will be down in Memphis, the Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs, to take on the Christian Brothers team in a doubleheader, and then they're off for a full week until the following Friday night. And so everything just changes differently on this schedule. Lady Bulldogs, of course, have won all 4 of their games, but the teams will be on a 3-game road trip. They will then, on the 9th and the 11th, head down to West Florida in Pensacola and Valdosta State in Georgia before coming back home for their next TV game on Friday night, December 16th, against Montevallo. So that about wraps it up from here for our efforts tonight on Fred DeLay Gymnasium, and I want to thank especially my fine crew. And so let me give you an opportunity to know who they are. The executive producer of Worthy Road Studios is Paul Schultze, and our executive producer of Union University Sports is Stephen Aldridge. On camera tonight, Eric Inman, Paul Schultze himself, and Billy Bolin. And our director tonight was the ever-attentive and the lovely Eris Hollingsworth. And we appreciate her efforts tonight of keeping these wonderful pictures coming your way. And, of course, the game was produced by Paul Schultze and yours truly. So until we're back with you for another Union game on television, and that'll be on the 16th of December against Montevallo. This is Steve Beverly saying thanks for being with us. Come back to see us every chance you get, and so long from the great hub city of West Tennessee.